Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Hayden with the Hill Pursuit Podcast. Man, it has been a while. We haven't had an episode in quite a while. Sorry about that, but we're back. This is episode 65. Today's episode, we talk a little bit about everything, to be honest, because there's a lot to talk about. We haven't had an episode in quite some time. Um, Today, we discuss an upcoming race that I have, the Akron Full Marathon. We talk about what we're doing with our training, what's going on in Mitch's life, what's going on in my life, how to deal with stress, how to keep your mental game pretty sharp. We talk about some new announcements, some related to some coaching stuff with a new triathlon team that I'm going to be helping to coach, Victory Multisport. I'm super jazzed about that. So, make sure you listen in and catch some information related to that. We also discuss where the website is going. Hillpursuit.com is going to be updated very soon. We talk a little bit about everything related to marathon goals, marathon pacing, adrenaline, what my taper has looked like, and just kind of how to deal with stress, and the importance of just having experience, kind of being in that pain cave, what that looks like, what it feels like, and how to deal with it when you get there. So thank you for listening. This is episode 65 of the Hill Pursuit Podcast. Enjoy the show. Yo, man, what's up? How we doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Been a little while since we've graced the podcast stage, but here we are. We're back.
Yeah, this could be our longest stretch that we never did a podcast. But
I know. It's been forever. I was like looking back earlier. It's not quite, but close to 2 months, which is just wild for us because we've been significantly more consistent than that for so long. But yeah, we've both just been super busy. So anyways,
needless to say, we're here tonight.
we are here. Yeah. And speaking of we were in the same location recently, and we could not meet up, or I guess you're hating on me for whatever reason, but I left the game early. We went to a Penn State game and sat in different sections, but
We were probably like 50 yards from each other.
and like honestly, there's horrible reception in that stadium. So I'm trying to text you and call you, and because it's a noon game. It's not like we're not there like crazy early doing stuff, but yeah, it didn't work out. And
Any of your calls.
Yeah, I know. And
left
early, but
fair weather fan left.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. The fair weather fan.
Yeah, left a couple minutes short. Yeah, typical.
Yeah. But what's going on? Let's just catch up for a hot second here. What's new with you? How are things? What's going on with training too? But anything and everything else.
Yeah, man. I think the reason it's not like we haven't been doing anything. It has not been out of being lazy, which is why we haven't podcasted. I think it's more out of us. Just we've had some stuff we both had to wrap up. Just bought a good chunk of property, so I kind of been.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I kind of been working that some of out in that's been taking a lot of time up. Hunting season's here, and it's an embarrassment, man. It's the least I've ever been prepared.
Really?
Yeah, man. I mean, I was kind of in the transition. We sold a house and buying properties. I kind of been looking at it like this. It's, I shoot my bow pretty much all year round, but where I was living, I lived in town, which I didn't grow up in town, so I didn't really have a place to shoot my bow besides in my garage. So granted, some reps in, but close distance. But now where I live, where I'm staying now until we get a place built on the property, I don't have a place just to shoot my bow right now. But now that we bought the property, I'm definitely going to start shooting. I have set up a target and start shooting. And where I live, the season opens up pretty early. So just having the thought that I haven't been out when the season has started is pretty frustrating. And then back where I grew up, season starts in about 3 weeks. So I'm kind of just trying to keep it in the back of my head that, hey, I set myself up to be able to hunt where I live forever, and if this year's a little bit different, I'm definitely going to get out. I'm going to get out a lot. It's just it's not as early as I was hoping, and I didn't definitely get the scouting in that I wanted. But like I said, it's kind of just setting myself up for the future. And if one year is a little bit wacky, so I'll definitely make up for it. So, but training's good, man. Been rocking and rolling 5-3-1. I have next week and the week after. Have some stuff, and I've been training just specifically nothing too crazy, but I had to rev up the conditioning a little bit for it. So nothing wild for me per se. Just kind of helping out with some stuff, and yeah, man, feeling good. Body, jiu-jitsu. I haven't been rolling as much. Like I said, moving kind of took me away from that gym, like an hour and a half away. So convenience wise, kind of. But like I said, I'm kind of setting myself up. So, but besides that, body feels great. I can't complain, man. I know if you've been getting after it, you have a big week coming up. So nothing special for here.
Yeah. Dang, I didn't know you were going to be that far away from your gym. That's unfortunate, but I mean, like you said, though, you're setting yourself up to do what you can on your own property, and that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and once we get that settled, I'll probably be 20 minutes from the jiu-jitsu gym.
Okay,
So
okay, all right.
just kind of in luau right now, and
Yeah.
sometimes that happens.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, that's cool. Well, nice. Yeah, I know. I literally took a few quick notes because I feel like so much has been happening that that I could update just the podcast, of course, but just our schedules are just not aligned aside from just like a random text here and there about whatever. But yeah, dude, a lot's been going on. So I guess first and foremost, I have to give this little announcement because I'm like super sauced about it. Well, first of all, I'm getting my USA Triathlon certification.
Mhm.
Um, I'm like 99% done. I'm literally just waiting. The last step of the certification process is to get a background check. Once you complete all of the like learning modules and answer all the questions correctly, or at least sufficiently enough to quote pass, I guess. Then you have to get a background check, and that's all I'm waiting for. It could literally be done as early as tomorrow, but yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be the reason I'm getting it is what I'm even more excited about is like I mentioned to you just in through text or a quick phone call, but I'm going to start coaching triathletes with Victory Multisport, and I'm just like super excited about it. The community is awesome, and I actually got a chance to basically meet everybody. Now I say everybody, like a bunch of the owners and coaches. I didn't even tell you this at a race over the weekend, a local race, the Mighty Moraine Man that is at the local state park right by my house. It's a race that I normally do. It's a race I normally compete in, like either the sprint or the Olympic distance triathlon. But because I'm running a marathon in a few days, I didn't want to have to like train for both. So I just chose not to race this one because I didn't want to train for it on top of open marathon, which is an animal of its own, I guess. But anyways, so they had Victory Multisport had like 15 or so athletes, dude, and it was just an awesome day. Like these athletes were just crushing it. A bunch of like age group podiums, age group first place finishes.
Right.
I think there was an overall podium, and it was just like it was just an awesome day to just hang with everybody, get to know some people, hang with the coaches, meet the athletes, encourage I mean, it was just awesome. I'm just like super excited about it. It's going to be really fun. Um, Doesn't really change anything with Hill Pursuit. Formally, I guess Hill Pursuit is just like working with essentially with as an extension of Victory for triathletes and some endurance athletes. So just super excited about it. Really cool opportunity, and I have my foot in that world of triathlon, and now I'm gonna start coaching triathlon specific athletes, and I'm just super jazzed about it. So that's also new. I guess more on that later, but for right now, that's where that's at, and I'm just excited about it. But yeah, with training, I can't remember if I texted you about this, but dude, I hurt my back last week. Did I tell you
Yeah.
that?
You just said your back was tweaked. I didn't get the specifics.
Okay, okay. Um, yeah, so 2 weeks ago, um, 2 weeks ago, I was like back and forth whether or not I should have a 1 week or a 2 week or close to 2 week taper for this race. I basically trained like 8 or 9 straight weeks for this with like maybe one down week somewhere in the middle there, not quite in the middle. But 2 weeks ago, I was just like burnout. I was just like not enjoying my sessions. I wasn't really like looking forward to it. I had some really good sessions and some really bad ones.
Mhm.
And I was just thinking to myself, maybe this is just an indication that I'm overtrained. Like maybe I need to just taper for 2 weeks instead of one, like instead of training for another week. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was back and forth. I didn't know what I should do. It was like midweek. And then ultimately I just decided, all right, I'm just going to taper for 2 full weeks. So last Saturday, not a few days ago, but the Saturday before, I still decided to run my 20 miles as my last like long run. And honestly, it felt great. It felt really good. I executed exactly how I wanted to execute. Um, and then I decided to taper after that. I tweaked my back on like Monday or Tuesday of the following week, literally doing nothing. That's the worst part. Like
Oh,
I that just frustrated me so much that because it's like an old injury that from time to time I just like re-aggravate. And I knew exactly what it was when it happened, and I knew in my head, all right, this is going to be 5 days before I can run again, because it's been like that before. And I didn't run at all until a few days ago, and it's just it's frustrating. You can't lift if you have a tweaked back. You can't. You're not going to row. You're not going to, I mean, riding a bike might have been okay, but I elected not to even try that. I wanted to be really careful to make sure that I could recover.
right.
Recovered fairly well. I had a really good track session. Actually, ironically, a couple track sessions. And I think I'm good. I feel good the last couple runs that I've had. But because of how it happened and the timing of everything, I'm actually like today's Wednesday, the race is Saturday. So there's only 2 more days in between now and the race. I had a really great session today. I'm just taking the next 2 days off. I have busy work days. Like, dude, that's enough stress. I got busy work days the next 2 days. I have to travel to Akron, which isn't far, but taking my kids and the dog, like it's enough. I'm ready. I don't need to run or train the next 2 days, so I'm just gonna chill.
Yeah.
Not injured. I'm feeling good, and I feel like I can execute my plan. I mean, maybe I can execute my plan. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but um, yeah, I was like, the second that it happened, dude, I was like devastated. I was like, how why is this happening to me right now? Like, dude, I think back to my Ironman, which by the way was like a year ago, um,
Mhm.
almost to the day, which is wild. But um, like 2 weeks before my Ironman, I got the flu. I don't know if you remember that, but that was forever ago. But
Yeah.
um, like stuff just happens. I mean, what can you do about it? It's an old injury that I ended up tweaking randomly that I haven't tweaked in like over a year, and probably a couple of years. And it happened. And what are you going to do? You have to deal with it. Like, I'm still going to attempt to run this race. I'm feeling like, honestly, I could say I'm feeling 95%. So I'm feeling very good, like very good. And the potential for feeling 100% is even, it's not off the table. Like, I have 2 more days.
Yeah.
There's no reason I shouldn't feel completely ready to run this race. So, going to give it a go. That's kind of a long-winded update for what's up with me, but yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, man. No, that's we talked before. Most things are never going to be perfect, right? And just kind of, you know, control. We always talk about control what you can, and everything else just kind of happens. And yeah, you can almost expect something to go wrong going into something big. It's just kind of the nature of the beast, and that at that point, it's just a mental game of how you're going to react to it.
Yeah, I know, dude. Speaking
Like,
of, just real quick, just on that thought, I made a note of this earlier, but speaking about the mental game, like, this week has been pretty stressful, honestly, just with not even like training stuff, just like work.
yeah,
Just a busy week. We have a lot going on at work, and it's just a busy time of the semester too. So it's whatever, a little bit more work stress than normal. And on top of that, it's just like the whole idea, and I have to travel. I have to travel to this race. Obviously, it's not my backyard,
mhm,
and there's just a couple, that it seems like it's just going to be more stressful. Um, in the past few days, it seems like the process of getting to this start line is just going to be more stressful than I would prefer in terms of sleep and busyness and stuff with the girls. And um, so that's, if I'm being honest, it's kind of bothering me a little bit. But like, you brought up a great point, like the mental game, this is where it comes into play, because this stuff happens all the time. Like, it just never goes perfectly. And it's like, you know, how are you gonna deal with it? Because life happens, and no, none of us are professional athletes. We don't get to like travel to a location and sleep there for a week in a hotel and like get
uh,
all expenses paid, like full relaxation prior to an event. Like, that's not how it works. So
now, I don't know about you. Not to cut you off. I don't know about you, but I kind of like flourish. I definitely have my weak spots, but those times where, you know, you're like crammed and then you have something big coming up, like that's where I like thrive. I don't know why. Like it's kind of like a love-hate relationship. I kind of like, man, like the whole embrace the suck quote kind
yep.
of comes play in my head. It's like, man, I got all this stuff to do and the time is like minimal. And it's like some of the stuff I definitely probably have procrastinated on. And then, how I was just listening to something how they say if you procrastinate, people say they could procrastinate because once like when the pressure's on, they have to get it done. It's not, I don't do it for that reason, but that's kind of, because there's definitely stuff I don't procrastinate on. It just has to get done before, this big event, whatever I have, this and that, whether it's work, training, such and such. But like I thrive in like those little like, say like those little moments like, man, I gotta get all this done in order for XYZ before XYZ happens. And I'm like, man, but when this happens, it's gonna feel so good. So I
Yeah.
kind of like, hey man, it's like I have all this crap to do, but when I step on that start line of the race, like all that stuff is past me. Nothing else matters anymore. Like it's like over. It's like now I'm like, this is all that matters at that point. That's how I
Yeah.
kind of and it kind of keeps you for me, it keeps me going in those like whatever 2 days you have until that stress is there, and then that's just kind of fuel to get you to that start
Yeah.
line.
For sure. I think you're exactly right. And I've experienced that before, in terms of like having things not go perfectly, and then, relying on the adrenaline, and to give you some energy and give you a little kick to not just get to the start line, but then just like start well and race well.
Yeah,
Like, I've had that it happen before. I just know that for a marathon, it's like that adrenaline lasts for maybe like, honestly, I mean, it lasts a decent amount of time, but it's like 90 minutes. You know, you get to like 10 miles,
I'm not talking about
adrenaline's gone. Like, you better be ready.
I'm not talking about the adrenaline carrying you through the event itself. I'm
Right,
more
right,
talking the adrenaline like taking you up to that point, because at that point, you said adrenaline's going to fade, right? At that point, it's just going to come the work you put in. Like adrenaline's not going to carry you through. I always relate that to some of the things, like they have a big event coming up that's like PT oriented, and like, yeah, the adrenaline will get me through. Yeah, no, it's probably not. If you didn't train the last whatever and prepare for it, the adrenaline will only take you so far, and then your
yeah.
weakness is going to be right. But I mean, kind of like I let that adrenaline kind of run me to the point. It's like, okay, now I get to be me. Now I get to put in all that work that you know adrenaline really doesn't matter at that point. And now it's game on. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I always kind of like those little, kind of like a mental game. It's either you're gonna let it crush you, or you're gonna use it to fuel you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a
Mhm.
really good perspective. I think that's I gotta like, honestly, I gotta reframe my brain a little bit over the next day or 2 days so that I can use that positively, because I definitely need to, because I think there's just going to be some additional stress that
Yeah,
I wasn't planning on or prepared for, and it might be sleep, it might be just restful time, it might be work stress. It's just there's a few things I know are added in that I wasn't planning, but um, that stuff happens. So, right,
and I don't know about you, but it's a slippery slope where you almost want to feel bad for you don't want to feel bad for yourself, but I think it's human nature where your mind's like, oh man, it would have been so nice if like I
yeah.
12 hours this night, and could have woke up and had a big breakfast, but that's not going to be reality for the week. The way like I could have enjoyed it that much more, and that's where you got to kind of like switch your mind and be like, well, that's not reality, so
I know.
so be it.
Yeah, and that's like the stuff that's literally the stuff that I'm talking about, is like sleep and like eating perfectly, and it just comes with travel. I mean,
Right.
it's it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. Our dog is like, she's doing good, but our dog has had like some serious issues lately. Um I mean, I know that you had your fair share as well with your pup, but
Yeah.
yeah, so that was just like an additional stress this past week, but she's doing good now. But um we're taking a dog, and I got to put more attention into her too than normal, and just a little bit of everything. It's just kind of funny. And when you think about it, sometimes you sit back and laugh. It's like, yeah, this is a marathon. It's not supposed to be easy, and we're just going to make it a little harder for for the days leading up and getting to that start line. But once you're there, like you said, I mean, if you put the work in, it should be there. So I'm hoping that it is, and yeah, I am really excited about it. I put a lot of time into this, and yeah, I'm excited to get to that start line. So,
Good.
oh yeah, let me talk about pacing strategy. So I almost completely forgot. Pacing strategy. Have you ever run a marathon?
I have not. What I was thinking? I was thinking about just going out on the road and seeing how long it would take me to run a marathon distance.
Yeah,
hmm But no, I've never run an actual marathon negative.
yeah. So I mean, I've heard people say, and I kind of agree with this. I've actually run, so I've run five now. This is my sixth this week in terms of a race. This is
Right.
my sixth this weekend, and I've heard people say, and I also agree, that it's not a 26.2 mile race; it's a 10K. So the first 20 miles is like you're just putting the time in to get to that 10K, making
Uh-huh.
sure that make that last 10K, making sure you don't blow up, making sure that you're saving enough energy, all that. So that's kind of how I view those first 18 to 20 miles is, don't do something stupid. Don't outrun your finishing time, stay within yourself.
Mhm.
So my best marathon ever is 4:08, and I think if I remember correctly, 4:08 ended up being like a 9:27 pace per mile, I think. That's literally just off the top of my head. That sounds familiar for whatever reason. I don't know if that's 100% accurate. I could do the math quick, but my phone is actually dead. So 9:27, and my goal for this race is 3:59:59. Just getting under 4 hours is my first goal. After that, I have a goal of 3:50, but I think just getting under 4 hours would be a feat in itself for me because I've never been there. So that being said, my pacing strategy is I'm going to break the race into 4 segments, and not equal segments. I know some people who divide the race into like 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, and 6.5 miles. And I just like mentally, I need something to change when I
Yeah.
get to the next split. So for me, I'm going 10, 8, 6, and finish is what I'm doing for my splits. And for the first 10 miles, if I average a 9:10 pace, I'm on pace for it's not 9:10 overall. You'll see in a second, but if I average 9:10, that's the slowest I want to average to stay on my goal of under 4 hours. The next 8 miles, I'm dropping it by 5 seconds to 9:05 is the slowest. So I'll be picking it up just slightly for the second 8 miles. What's unique about this course is there's actually a long, slow hill from 18 to about 19 and a half, close to 20 miles. So I have to plan for that accordingly. And I'm going to try to stay a little ahead of my planned pace so that I can pull back my effort from 18 to 20. But after 18, I'm going a 6 mile at a 9-minute average. After the 20 mile, so that 6 mile interval goes from 18 to 24. And after you hit the 20 mile mark, there's a good descent. So I'm hoping I can pick up some speed on some smaller downhills to make up for any time that I lose on the 1.5 mile, uphill. So 9-minute pace for that 6 minute. And then if I can't pick up the pace for the last 2.5 miles, 9-minute pace is going to get me to 3:59. But ideally, I'm going to drop that to under a 9-minute overall, hopefully down to like 8:50 or so, and then get significantly under 4 hours by a few minutes if I can. But I don't know. I don't know exactly how I'm going to feel. I've had a couple long runs where I've hit what I would think is the wall, and it's good to hit that, I think, in training sometimes, not all the time, because you have to be able to call back on that feeling and say, look, I've been here. I can get through it.
Mm-hmm.
And when all you're doing is running and you have miles left, you need to have experience with what your body feels like and what your body is going through in order to like keep moving at a fast clip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the goal.
Well, I don't know what you mean because I never ran a marathon, but
Well, you know what I mean in theory, though. Just having the experience of like embracing the suck. If you don't embrace the suck, right? That's what you said earlier. If you don't
yeah.
embrace that in training and it comes on in a competition or something, I mean, you're not prepared.
Yeah.
So you have to feel your body break down in training and get through it, not just feel it and stop. Like, don't just feel it and quit the workout or quit the session or quit the run. You have to feel it and keep going. And I actually did that. I had a couple sessions like that, probably just 2 during this training block that I know that if I get to a really bad spot, I can call on those moments and tell myself, look, I've been here. I can keep going.
Yeah, no, I've definitely been in a couple of those moments.
Yeah, no, I know.
No, I read something one time, and I think of this all the time now, and something just absolutely sucks, and like the pain's out of the chart. I forget what it was, but it was like you don't give in to the pain, you just make small adjustments to adapt to the pain. I'm like that's
Yeah,
awesome. You don't quit. You don't let it break you. You don't let it break you. You just might have to change something small to adjust for it and account for it to keep going forward.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm,
Um,
I'm gonna store that in my brain so I can remember that. That was a good one.
yeah, absolutely. It's like I forget what I was doing one time. I think I was running with like a ruck on one time, and like the thing was just riding me. And it was like I could not get it comfortable right. So I was just like I had to totally change like my mechanics around or like adjust my bag and like in order like to get it like uncomfortable in one area, it made some other spot uncomfortable, but it was like at least it lessened the pain more. Well, I'm trying to think what I'm saying. It still sucked, but not as bad.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's just making those minor adjustments so you can keep moving forward. But
absolutely.
quick thing too. Speaking of like just running and stuff, my dad has been on a kick lately. Um, I don't know how much weight he lost. Probably, I'm gonna say over 30 pounds.
Wow.
Um, he just went. He had an appointment the other day. He gained about 8 pounds of lean muscle. Um, he's been going to like a nutritionist, and he's been running about 5 miles every day.
What?
Yeah, and it all started off of
Oh,
he's like.
wow.
And like this is a guy that, old school. I get my workouts from shoveling at work, lifting heavy stuff around. Um, and then he just kind of went on a running, he's like, something's for hunting. That's pretty much what, it changed for is like, I need to stay in shape. So he started walking. And then he got a weight vest, started walking with his weight vest. Then it turned in like, hey, I'm going to take my weight vest off. I'm going to start running. So now he like changes up between walking with his weight vest and going on like five. Like he ran like 5 miles, and I happened to be home, and I'm like I wanted to go on a little run because like we don't have hills really where I live, so I wanted to get some running in on hills. So he's like, all right, I'll go with you. And we just like busted out another 3 miles, and it was like first time I ever ran with my dad right next to me. So
That's awesome.
that was pretty cool. So I want to give him credit where credit's due because it's
Dude, heck yeah.
yeah, it's pretty sweet. So
That is really cool. That's really cool.
yeah, it's awesome. Proud of him.
I love to see that. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
dude, I love that about running. I mean, running is like not the activity itself isn't easy, but it's one of the easiest things that anybody can do. And that's exactly how you do it. You start by walking. You
yeah,
start by walking. You start by increasing the intensity of your walk. You start to trot. You add in some intervals. Maybe throw a weight vest on, take it off, and start jogging. I mean, that's literally to the T of how somebody starts running. All you need to do that is a pair of sneakers and outdoor space.
yeah, man. My mom would send me a picture, and I talk about like an old school dude. He was running in like these old sneakers and cut off jean shorts,
Why not?
and then they went and got him like an actual training like sneakers, like some
I
training.
love that though. I love that. Dude,
Yeah,
that is all you need. That's all you need. I love it. That's great.
yeah. Like obviously we vouch for like coaching and stuff like this, but it goes to show you don't need like a legit coach to get you to that point, right? It was literally a crawl, walk, run. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. Said that to him the other day. I'm like, Dad, you're literally like we're the definition of a crawl, walk, run. It's
Man,
pretty.
that is just so awesome. That's so cool to hear.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I did want to bring that up. So
Yeah, sweet. Well, congrats to Papa Moyer putting in that work and dropping the 30 lbs and running, dang, 30 plus miles a week. That's intense stuff.
yeah, it's
That's
pretty cool. There's definitely something on the horizon. I mean, I think something's going to brew out of it. I don't know what. Like
that's really cool.
talking about entering something. He's not a guy that I think would just go on a marathon. I think he needs something like whether it's like a Go Ruck challenge or
Yeah, that'd be
you
cool.
know, something like that. I think he would enjoy, or if it was like something with like shooting a bow, I think it would be he would enjoy that even more. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, right
Yeah,
now, see him get like becoming more fit. So
that's awesome. Good stuff. Well, yeah, keep us updated on that for sure. Let's let's call it for the night. You got anything else?
No, man, I don't.
Yeah, that was a good episode. It's nice to catch up for sure.
Yeah, definitely get up together afterward too.
Yeah. If you're listening, just know that we are sincerely sorry, and we will absolutely continue to put these episodes out and try to be a lot more consistent and a little bit more frequent for sure. That was definitely unknown territory, and I doubt that would happen again. The stars kind of aligned imperfectly, I think, the couple times that we tried to cast, and it just like didn't happen. So anyways, this was episode 65, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
check us out on all the social stuff. We're at Hill Pursuit. If you want to send us an email, start a conversation, hillpursuit@gmail.com. We have the website as well, hillpursuit.com. That reminds me, we're going to update the website very, very soon. So check that out too, because that is another change or update that I meant to talk about briefly, but I don't really have much more than that anyways, to be honest. But hillpursuit.com is not going to go away. It's actually just going to be updated. So it's gonna you'll be pleasantly surprised if you check it out in the near future. So keep your eyes on that, and you can access this podcast and any and everything else, all other podcast episodes through the website, but also Spotify, Podbean, Google Podcasts, and now Apple as well. What else am I missing, Mitch? We haven't done an outro in forever. I feel like I'm missing something.
No, I think you got it all, man. And
I got it all. So yeah, this was episode 65. You got anything? You good?
good luck this weekend, bro.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, we'll see you guys next time.